your take on the goalkeeper that we mentioned there. Jackie here says a new goalie's been badly needed at Rangers for a while now. Butland has been under par. Do you agree with that?
I don't think he enjoyed himself last season, Jack Butland, and it got to the point that he was making so many errors so frequently and big costly mistakes as well.
Yeah.
That he had to be taken out the firing line. So his confidence was probably taking a bit of a battering from that as well. Jack Butland at the top of his form, i.e. the sort of first season that he was at Ibrox, he looked real quality. He looked like a guy, a Premier League goalkeeper, and I mean English Premier League standard. And I'm sure, and there were plenty of Rangers people talking then about, we've got this guy in for nothing, we could flog him for 20 million. And maybe that, we keep talking about it, the kind of sliding doors moments. Maybe that was one that at the end of that first season, Rangers could have made a real killing on that, given that he didn't cost a fee. I don't think you'd get anywhere remotely close to the sort of big numbers that were being talked about now. So what do you do with Jack Butland? And is Jack Butland good enough with the ball at his feet to, be considered a first-pick goalkeeper by Russell Martin? Because it is a different style of football.
If you were the Rangers manager going in, and you've obviously got a limited budget and what have you, and so many facets of your team you need to improve, rebuild, would you go in and go, look, I need a new number one goalie?
I wouldn't have thought that would be a priority,
right.
but it does depend on how Russell Martin sees it,
right.
and how key it is for the goalkeeper. And I have to say, a lot of the goals, the comic cut kind of episodes that we saw at Southampton last season, it was mix-ups between the goalkeeper and his centre halves or his full-backs overplaying out from the back. If that is the way that he wants Rangers to set up, then he's going to have a goalkeeper that he absolutely can, hang his hat on in terms of his distribution with the ball at his feet.
Yeah.
Because it killed him, it crucified him at Southampton. And it was these misplaced passes, and teams that were set up knowing that was going to be the way that we're going to play, and they set up to pounce on him. And I can see Brendan Rodgers licking his lips a little bit, thinking, I've watched how the Premier League sides set about, giving Southampton these real problems at the back. Russell Martin stuck to it. He wasn't going to sacrifice his principles. So again, you look at it, what has Russell Martin learned tactically? Is he now older, wiser, and won't make the same mistakes again, or will mix it up a little bit more, be a little bit more flexible, pragmatic even, or is he the same Russell Martin with the same set of core beliefs and planning the exact same thing at Rangers? Because if he is, I don't think Brendan Rodgers will mind that too much. I think that he will be able to devise a tactical plan to how best to play against Rangers, and I think it'll look similar to what we saw at Southampton last season, in those first 16 games of the Premier League season, where teams were setting up knowing how Southampton were going to play, and they were laying little traps and they were springing on them, and it was causing chaos.
Yeah.
So that's a long-winded answer. I guess what we're saying, or what I'm saying here, is if Jack Butland or Liam Kelly is to be the number one, they're going to have to prove at this training camp just now that
they've got what it takes.
They're better with the ball at the feet than more often than not, because a mistake at that end of the pitch, as we've seen, is disastrous.
Craigie says Butland is number one at Gers, but Ali chimes in saying Butland's finished. So there you go. Well, I thought it was interesting to see Nasser Jigga check in at the Rangers training camp yesterday, and he got a lovely welcome by all accounts.
Yeah.
He was there about 15 minutes, and he was already doing a Terry Butcher impression.
Well, yeah, apparently I've never seen a guy get his head split open doing a passing drill. I don't know. I don't know if he was doing diving headers in the passing drill or something, but
actually, how did that happen?
I have no idea, because there was no footage made available. But it's certainly interesting, isn't it?
Aye.
And from other clips, he was certainly flying into tackles. No, he looks. Listen, he said it himself. I'm an aggressive defender. That's the way I like to do it. African defenders are aggressive, he said, and. To bust your head open doing a passing drill certainly suggests that this boy's going to go full tilt. I think you could actually hear Russell Martin going over to him and saying, Well, that's good. There'll be plenty more of them to come. Welcome to your first day at Rangers.
Aye. Kendo says, brilliant. Yamada's 5'8". Meanwhile, Russell Martin is building a team similar in stature to Martin O'Neill's. This boy will get dominated in Scotland. He's referring to Yamada, but I bring that up because I mentioned Jigga. Is that something Celtic maybe have to be a bit more concerned about? Because Rangers, it does look, at least from the outside, they're building a very strong physical
Brendan Rodgers
team.
will stick to the Brendan Rodgers plan, and he'll believe that it doesn't matter what he comes up against, whether it's physicality or whatever. He'll believe in his system. You keep hearing it for Celtic, believe in the process.
Aye.
That's the mantra. So whatever Rangers do to combat it, they will believe that they can overcome it by just doing things their way. And it's worked over and over and over. Now, that became a little bit difficult towards the end of last season because Barry Ferguson was really unpredictable as a Rangers manager.
Yeah.
In terms of, he would set up different systems for different games. There was no set, you know what you're going to get here. You actually had to wait 5-10 minutes into a game before you've tactically been able to work out what it is, how have they set up this time. And Brendan Rodgers admitted to that in two of the last Old Firm games of last season. It was really only at half time that he was able to get the information on how to combat what was happening.
Aye.
In terms of Rangers, I said it last night, Dan, you can see the structure and the strategy of this recruitment drive, and it seems to me he wants power, pace, he wants his defenders to be no-nonsense, aggressive, tall, athletic, and in the final third, you're looking at the profile. There must have been about 32 wingers mentioned in the last 3 days, but the profile are all incredibly similar. They're real pacey guys that are all about energy and ball carrying so you're starting to see what Rangers might look like at the back. Big, powerful, no nonsense, but capable of playing into midfield at the same time. Midfield, you've got some decent ball players in there already, and Raskin, Diamondi, Rodwell will add to that as well, Connor Barron. And then in the final third, what you're going to get, what's it going to look like? And it looks very much as if the emphasis is going to be on, he wants two wide guys that are hell for leather down the flanks. And, that it's going to be interesting to see how Celtic combat it. I don't think Celtic will go into these games specifically thinking, or going into the transfer market saying, "Oh, we need to, we need to go and get physical players to match this," because it's not like Celtic are a weak side.
Of course, aye. And Big Rab chimes in, puts me in my place by saying, "Well, Kyogo was 5'8". How did Rangers get on with him?" Which is a very fair point.
Yeah,